Hi, I'm Lindsay Parker, music editor of Yahoo Entertainment. I'm really excited to be here to interview my girl, Haley Reinhart. I have followed her career since American Idol, Postmodern Jukebox, All Over Solo Records, Extra Gum. I'm so excited for her success. And she has a new album. It dropped last Friday. It's called Lo-Fi Soul. It's out now. Yay!
Thanks.
It's so good to see you.
Oh my gosh, you too. What
saw
a
you-
great surprise.
I think I saw you Grammy week, right? We ran into each other.
Yeah, we always run into each other in fancy, fun places, I feel.
Well, you get to go to all the fancy, fun places because you're an it girl now. You're so successful, and I'm so excited to talk to you about your new album. Congratulations on it dropping Friday.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the title. I love the title, Lo-Fi Soul. It kind of definitely describes your sound. Can you tell me the meaning behind it?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of, create something that was true to self. And also, this whole album, I've done a lot of self-discovery as an artist and as a woman. And, so I wanted to just put a spin on what it means to be an old soul. And I've always been told that. So lo-fi, combining, this low fidelity aspect of the music and, the grit that there is to this album. And I left a lot of things raw, and I really just put the paintbrush down, was like, don't keep tweaking, just leave it as it is, and just, tidy the things you need to, but otherwise just stop touching it and let it be. So yeah, I think those two things mixed together really define who I am and this sound for this album.
You say you went on a journey of self-discovery as an artist and a woman. Can you elaborate about that journey and the process, what you were going through?
Yeah, it's this record, fully independent and super stoked on that. So it's been an incredible learning process to do everything. I already know I was doing everything alone as far as just the vision and, with a great team surrounding me. But this time around, not having the labels, breathing over your back, per se, it's been cool to just do it my way. But you also have to just really dig deep and become a major businesswoman. And I've always enjoyed taking that leap. But I've grown and learned things during this process that I didn't even know were possible. So,
what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned?
Probably to give yourself enough time to do everything and not freak out and get worried that your vinyls aren't going to be packaged in time. It's all the tedious stuff that really, came together for me at the last second. I was flying by the seat of my pants. Is that the correct term?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was it was just kind of crazy, and people really came through between the producers and everybody that I needed work, to get work done with at the last second. It was just it all came together, and I'm so grateful for it. Timing is everything, as you know.
Who did you work with on this record? Producers, songwriters, anyone of note you want to talk about?
Yeah, Rob Kleiner is one of them who I worked with from the first record, Listen Up. And he's a great dude, and he's always let me be myself and never stepped in and told me how to sing or how to write lyrics. And everybody I've worked with now, they just let me just do my thing. And that really means writing the lyric and melody. And then if they have their notes, then they'll give me a little, something. But really, it's just finding the people that are amazing and know how to create your sound with you. And Rob Kleiner, Tony Esterly, he's a newer dude that I started working with, and he's phenomenal, and we clicked. We have a hometown Chicago connection, and he just ended up putting things like trap beats and 808 and then also mixing it with all live instrumentation and even voice memos from my phone that he just put directly in the computer and left my voice and my crappy piano playing in there like that. And it all makes it really, unique and raw sounding.
You say that it's important to find people that will let you do your thing and let you be authentic to your own voice. In the past, particularly coming off of the machine that is American Idol and a major label, did you have struggles with getting that accomplished? Were there people who were sort of saying, no, you got to do this, you got to be more radio friendly, more pop, more like this artist who's already at, you know what I mean? Did you struggle with that?
Yeah, I mean, I thankfully don't think I've struggled with it as much as other people have because I've always had a vision and been super adamant about what it is that I want. So I've never had certain hurdles. Maybe, I didn't get to do things as quickly as I wanted, but I've been okay with that, with the knowledge of you're doing it the right way. And that's what's in my heart. So, but yeah, of course, there's like always a million different people just in your ear, like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and you need to sound like this. And it's like, as long as you have the super creative vision and you're driven enough to like see it through, those kinds of things won't really matter in the long run at all.
But you don't have like a particularly ridiculous story about music business story. You're independent now.
Of course. I mean, there's just so many and so many comparisons that people make. And, I've had sessions where they start writing it before I enter the room. And it's like, well, that's there goes my good opinion of this song, because it has to be a collaboration. And if you're a true artist and you want to be like totally, developing your own sound and discovering your own kind of, I don't know, like brand, I guess, then they should totally pay attention to that and want to know about you and every inch of what you're about. So, yeah.
So you're known as a master or mistress of covers. Obviously, you started on American Idol, which is about singing cover songs. You also have racked up millions of views with Postmodern Jukebox. The Can't Help Falling in Love was a big hit. And your last album was covers of your favorite songs from the 60s and 70s. So how does it feel now, after doing that album, to be doing an album of your own material again, your own originals? And how do you approach music differently when it's, original songs as opposed to interpreting other people's songs?
Yeah, it feels really good to get original stuff out again. Really, really, really good. Covers are amazing, and I always like to interject them, during a set. And but I'm really excited for this tour to be able to do most of my own material. I've gotten to bring songs out of the box from 8 years ago in my little treasure chest, and I've just been waiting to not have anybody telling me what to do or, oh, that song is this, or we need something more of this. So now I finally could just take everything that I wanted, new and old, including 8 years ago songs, and just been like, this is the one. This is the right time, the right moment, an album to showcase, this ballad and, just for one example. And yeah, it feels good.
Now, I mentioned Postmodern Jukebox. You've toured with them. You're one of the most popular. Some of the videos you've done with them are among their most popular, like Radiohead's Creep. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you how working with Postmodern Jukebox has affected your sound. I sense a jazziness in the video we just saw and throughout the whole album. Did it affect it in any way?
Well, I think that, we've affected each other. So the success of all that has been wonderful, but the truth is jazz has always been a huge part of who I am, and growing up in Chicago and my dad playing guitar and, doing call and response with him as a baby. These are just things that I'm just happy that I have a platform or an outlet to be able to showcase it and get it out. And, I want to be able to implement all the genres that I love. And I think this is really that first album, Lo-Fi Soul, where I really was able to be my truest self and put out the little jazzy flares along with the rock and roll and the hints of, soul and R&B.
Would you ever consider doing an all jazz album, like a Great American Songbook type album?
Yeah, it was actually my plan to maybe even do that next.
Really?
Yeah.
What songs would you do? Do you have any in mind?
I'd like to even put a couple originals on as well, and because I'm always humming little jazzy ditties all the time. But I don't know. There's a long list of jazz songs that I've done over time, like Cry Me a River, and just several different ones that have really struck a chord with me growing up over the years. So. You never know. I really love this indie alternative place that I'm at right now, and I want to just soak this up for as long as possible because I've always dreamt of getting on the alternative charts. I love that music. I love what it stands for, and I think a lot of, like, my favorite music right now is, when I'm not listening to AM radio, is on, the alternative stations. So I'm super excited to, kind of be in this realm and alongside people that I truly admire.
Do you feel that coming off, I know crazily you were telling me it's been 8 years since you were on American Idol. It feels like the other day. But do you, obviously when you're on a show like that, that legacy always follows you forever, even if you're Kelly Clarkson,
Can't get away. No, I'm kidding.
But did you feel, I remember you were playing Lollapalooza. That does not happen for too many people that come off of any singing competition on TV. Did you feel you had to work extra hard to prove yourself? Did you feel there was a moment where you were accepted outside the show? Because with rock artists in particular, being on shows like The Voice or American Idol, there is more of a stigma and less of a welcoming than I've noticed in country or pop or R&B.
I just pretend like it's not there. Not that the show's not there, but that the stigma isn't there. And then I'm breaking down barriers, I'm breaking down walls. And ever since Lollapalooza, which was straight out the gate, so I just think it's important to know your roots, obviously, and I'm proud of all of it. But I've never used it as a crutch. It's never something that, like, I've pushed and said, I need that to be my headline. It's like you do those shows, and that one in particular, to branch away and become your own artist, and you're using it to find people like yourselves to give us a listen. So it's like, as much of a stigma as it can be, I've just really, put it aside and said, that's not going to be for me, because I have way too many dreams to accomplish, and let, something get in the way, and have somebody just sit back and think, oh, look at this cookie cutter artist that's, come from this show with an easy ticket, which it's not an easy ticket anyway. But, it's just, there's so much more to people, and there's so much more to me. So I'm not letting any of that stand in my way.
So we were mentioning jazz. I haven't talked about this with you. How did you start working with Jeff Goldblum, who is the man? Like, that's insane that you get to sing with him. I need to hear the story about, I need to know what he's like. I love him, and it's so cool that you guys have worked together.
I took a picture backstage there, and I turn around, and there's like a huge picture of Jeff Goldblum's face. He is a riot. Like, whatever you think that man is and is portrayed on a screen, that's him. Like, he's so full of life, and I just got the call from his team. They wanted me to come in, and I went to the Rockwell, where he has this cool residency in LA, and just ended up running a tune with him once, this Nina Simone song, My Baby Just Cares For Me. And then that was it. Then we were in Capitol Studios. They dressed it up like decked it out as an old speakeasy with a full live audience. And we just did a one live take, and that was the record, and then we did off to Jimmy Kimmel and, things like that. And certain festivals too, Arroyo Seco. I'm just super, super, jazzed up about it, because, it just kind of came out of nowhere. But we do have a really cool synergy, and there is definitely a connection. And I just love how he's just so in awe with everything. That's kind of how I live my life too. Just constantly pleasantly surprised by people, things, beautiful moments that we all get to live through. So I'm grateful for him, for Jeffy.
Jeffy. Oh, you're on
I call him Jeffy.
Do you have any other...
Before I even knew him, I just called him that on stage. And I was like, well, that's...
Do you have any good stories about, playing shows with him, hanging out with him? I'm fangirling out a little bit over you, but also about Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I just will crack up just thinking about certain things that he says. He's like, oh, look at the sparklers, about my teeth, and it's just like, who says that stuff? He's very creative and just on another planet as far as gratitude, and it's just a really good example of how to live your life. And he truly loves his fans, and so do I. So it's a very, we have this camaraderie and I look at him, up to him, just like, wow, you're this older, beautiful man who's still dedicating every second he can to meeting fans and talking to new people, taking time out of his busy life, not to break, but to meet people and have that connection. It's pretty cool.
I'm picturing, since I was suggesting putting the idea out there that a jazz album would be a great thing for you to do. like Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett, but you and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I mean, she took that idea from me anyway, because I got to perform with Tony Bennett at the Idol finale, and she was
forgot
there,
about that.
and she met him there, and I also did her song before it came out. So me and Gaga had a
You
pretty
did You
cool,
and I.
Yeah, before it was released. So that was neat, and I knew that seed got planted. So now I'm just hoping that I can do something with Tony again on a record, because God, I mean, he's the epitome of what cool and real jazz means, and he's still got it. So I'm just like, yes, I got to get a jazz album. I can't wait too long.
I totally forgot that you performed with Tony at the finale. How amazing. What was he like?
It was cool. And you know what? He was so smooth. And he was like, I live my life by some of the words he's said to me. He's just like, he just kept saying this to me. He's like, you're doing it the right way. You're doing it the right way. And I was like, thanks. I don't quite know all of what that means yet, but it kind of resonated with me then. And then every step along the way, if I look in the mirror and I'm like, does this feel right? Are you doing things that you're proud of? Like that, all those questions that you can ask yourself, it's really just led me here. And I got to interview him, which was really cool, and I got to be like you for the day, and it was cool. He's a man. I can't say enough good things.
So Lady Gaga has made a leap to very credible acting.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, amazing actor, has made a leap to doing very credible music.
Yeah.
Would you ever have you or would you ever consider going into acting too?
Yeah, I would absolutely love it. I think it's all about timing. I've had a couple opportunities and even some things that are still in the air right now as far regarding that. So we'll see.
You can reveal or
Not really, okay. But I wish. But I think it's I just would probably have to put aside some major time to do something like that. But hey, I think that is my foreseeable future. I would love to do more acting for sure. Get on the big screen. Maybe even be a judge someday. Like all these things are very, enticing to me.
A judge on American Idol?
Yeah.
Or like a judge, like on Judge Judy?
Oh. No, I could be pretty harsh, but no. I'd love to, be a fun critic on one of those shows.
I could see you doing that. I could really see you doing that. So I'm in town in New York. We both live in LA normally. I'm in town because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame happened on Friday. It was epic. And the Zombies,
So jealous.
It was so good. We'll take that conversation offline. But the Zombies were honored. Yeah. And I know that actually when you did one of their songs on your last album, they tweeted or they basically expressed how much they love that cover.
That was so cool. Yeah, I was like, I'm getting a tweet from one of my favorite groups, the Zombies. They're on Twitter. Holy crap. It was really kind of surreal. I did Time of the Season, so it was neat to hear them compliment me, and Casey was on that as well. Casey Abrams, a buddy of mine. So, and then they hit me up again a little later and asked me to, even help promote them to get inducted. So that happened, and I was like, well, you're going to get it anyway, but yes, I would love to do that, put a little story thing out there and stuff. And what a thrill, and I'm so happy that you got to be there. I went last year with my dad to the Rock Hall and as an influencer. So that was, my cool excuse to get there and see some more bands that I've, adored forever. Moody Blues and, honoring Nina Simone, people like that.
Besides the Zombies, obviously you've covered so many songs from different genres, different eras, and you have so many admirers in the business. Are there any other moments that stand out to you as like, oh my God, that, some kind of legend or someone you looked up to praised you covering one of their songs or praised you in general?
I'm trying to think of this last album. There was somebody else. I think I heard from Jefferson Airplane. I was like, what? And now, like, hopefully maybe Gracie Slick at some point, like, Grace Slick, I could hear from her. I don't know. We'll see. But, things like that are just like, they take me back, and I'm just like, and I'll call my parents, of course, right away, because that's their generation, and I learned these songs from playing them with their band of 40-something years now. So, yeah, when I hear from, like, the the older icons of mine, it really gets me more amped up than anything. Yeah, so it's been pretty neat.
Well, you obviously grew up with classic rock and you love rock music. And the last question I have for you is, there's been a lot of talk that genre is dying, or, it's no longer, rock is no longer the genre of choice for a lot of people. Hip hop is the biggest genre in America. Do you see anything changing? Like, I don't imagine you think rock is dead. Do you see the tides turning or the pendulum swinging in any way? And do you want to be a part of that?
Well, I think that rock and roll will never die. Also, I think that, there is like a crazy hip hop, wave and stuff that's going on, and that's fine. There's mainstream has never really been rock and roll necessarily, and even like I always think back to the rock, to the '60s and stuff, where not even the greats now were not getting radio play necessarily, and they weren't selling out stadiums. It was, later on that these things became massive. So it's an interesting thing to think about. But there's people like, that's why I love alternative right now, and Cage the Elephant and bands like that. Like that's my favorite thing of today. And I think I want to be a part of that wave, and this festival kind of fun wave of new edgy rock and roll. I mean, that's where my heart resides. So,
do you have any festival dates? We've mentioned Lollapalooza. We've mentioned Arroyo Seco. Do you have any stuff coming up?
I'm gonna be on Bottle Rock with Jeff Goldblum coming up.
Nice.
So that'll be really fun. And I'm touring now, so this kicks off tomorrow here at City Winery. But yeah, I'm looking to just do more festivals, hopefully in the near future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we have some questions from your a couple from the audience, but I'm going to read this one from Twitter first.
Cool.
This comes from Chi-Town Halen, who says, "What is your process for writing songs? Does the lyric or melody come first?"
Cool question. I think it's mostly the melody. I mean, I catch a vibe and get the chords down, or come in with a melody from my phone that I can't get out of my head. That's what I did for most of these songs on this record. And then how does that melody make me feel? And then let's talk about it. Let me write about it a little bit. And then I just kind of go inside and, write basically a poem, just poetry in motion.
Awesome. So we have a couple questions from our audience.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Right.
I wanted to know, I really liked your music video, and I really wanted to know, how was the process of making that, and who did you work with on it, and what was the inspiration?
Cool. Thank you. I worked with, this one came together like crazily differently. It's crazy how this stuff happens, but I was going to go to a really crappy motel and film it and make it super like edgy, borderline dirty. And we get there, and I have curlers in my hair, as you saw. I just did that. And the guy was like, "You can't take pictures, you can't do this." And I was like, "Well, how do you know I'm gonna do all that? I'm not saying that I'm doing that yet." And so we got kicked out of that joint. So then last second, it turns out Sunset Marquee, this awesome rock and roll kind of known to be hotel in LA, took us, and they're fans and they're great people, so they let us, utilize that whole bit. And I walked in and saw Alice Cooper. That was cool, of course. And then pretty cool. And then the rest of it, the dance scenes, I did. This was shot by Joshua Schultz, by the way. He's awesome, and I've done like pretty much the last 5 videos with him. And when you got a good thing, you want to keep going with it. And the other bits are filmed at No Vacancy in LA, which is like, what would you say, a speakeasy?
Yeah, kind of a.
Is it
the one in Fairfax?
The one, yeah, and
No name?
There's the girl on the bed, and then the bed opens, and then you go down the stairs, then you enter like a very old house that's like really probably from the 20s or 30s, right here, yeah. And then this fine gentleman here is Jules Tucker, and he is from Dancing with the Stars, and he's a judge in Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand now. So it was cool. It was a fun video to make with all of those guys.
Awesome. Thank you for your question.
Thanks. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. So I really loved how you described yourself as an old soul, and I can really tell in like your voice and your music how like it just comes out. And I was wondering whose voice inspired you to kind of embrace that old soul that you have.
Cool question. Yeah, I mean, I think of like so many of my favorite kind of people from all genres across the board, you know. So if I wanted to channel some more rock and roll, I think of someone like Janis or Dusty Springfield. And when I think of the jazzier stuff, I've channeled Marilyn Monroe a lot, and just the kind of the gleaming, like, cute femininity that she embodies. And even people like Eartha Kitt and Julie London and like all these people that were so distinctly themselves, you know, those people speak to me more than anything. They're just unabashedly them, you know.
Cool, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, we are out of time, but I'm looking forward to you being a judge on American Idol,
Yay.
doing an album with Tony Bennett,
Yay.
and going on tour. I think I'm going to check out your show tomorrow night.
Oh,
in New York
please.
tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow
cool.
night.
I'll still be in town.
Cool.
Thank you so much. I'm always so happy to see you and for all your success. Thank you for everyone for your questions and for watching out there.
Appreciate
We'll see you
it.
soon.
Cool. Right on. Thanks, guys.